Good evening, everybody, or at least it's evening where I'm at. I don't know when you're watching this, but I'm Cody Flood, and we're going to have a little bookmaking instruction today. I'm going to show you guys how to make a quarto. A quarto is an early bookmaking process that they used before the printing press was invented with movable type. And you can actually make one yourself really easily. What you need is just a simple sheet of paper to start with, and what you're going to do is you're going to fold it from the top down, folding it in half. And you want to make sure to make a good sharp crease there. It's going to help you out later on the steps. And then you're going to fold that in half again this way so that you have it in force. Again, making a nice sharp crease. You want to have 4 quadrants here. Now, the interesting thing about a quarto is that since there wasn't movable type in the printing, when they printed on the sides of the paper that they were using, they had to orient the text so that when it was folded, it would read like a book. So some of it actually was printed upside down depending on how you looked at it. So to show you an example on here, when you number it, I'm going to look at my cheat sheet over here. You have this being side 1. This is actually page 8 right next to it. And then flipping it over, you have page 4 and page 5, and on the back side you have 3 and 6 and 2, page 2 and page 7. So you can see here on the front side, when you're looking at it this way, you have 1 and 8, and they're normally the way you would be used to reading, but you notice that 4 and 5 are actually upside down. When you go to print this, and for realism's sake, when they would have printed them, but as we do it, we'll try to replicate that as best as possible. You would have to print your text or your pictures or whatever this is upside down, but when you fold it, it's actually going to be the correct orientation, and it'll read like a book. So now that you have that folded up, your next step would be to go ahead and create your book. And you want to have your cover page with the title and everything. Inside you can have a title page, and go ahead and illustrate that, write it however you want. And then, since it's still bound at the top, you need to free that binding. So you want a good sharp knife, and you're just going to come along here along the top seam, being careful not to cut into the spine of the book, and just free those pages up. Same thing on the second one. Once you've done that, you can see that your book actually will read page 1, 2, 3, and they're all right side up, and so on. Now, through the magic of all infomercials, I have a lovely final product over here for you that I've created. We just need to do the final step to this. I've already decorated. We have Herkimer Hercules and the Time-Traveling Knights. That's actually a silly story that I wrote myself. The cool thing is, and I had a friend actually illustrate the story for me. So here's a picture that they illustrated. Shout out to Julia. Thank you for doing that. And then, so I have my title page here with the picture over here for the illustration. And then inside, the text is really, really small, similar to what you would see in like a pocket Bible. But when you were getting lots of information, the text would have been small when they printed original quartos. So I have all those pages on there. I did cheat a little bit with modern printing because there was no way I could write that small, but I did go through the process and then fold it correctly. So the last thing we need to do to ensure that our book lasts for a long time is to bind the book. And again, kind of a modern cheat here. We're just going to staple along the spine so that our book will be bound. Other ways that you could do this, you could hole punch and put a ribbon through here. I'm not really a ribbon kind of guy, so I didn't do that. But you could bind it that way. But now you have a lovely book. This is a good, fun way to just make your own book, to have a personal journal or just write down your own short stories. I figured nobody would ever print this story of mine, so I would just do it myself. So good luck making your own quarto, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.